Hi, everybody. Happy Monday. This is not going to be a Bible talk today. This is going to be a spirit message. And I'm going to use three different decks, actually, three different tarot decks and three different oracle decks. So, this is going to be one oracle deck. The Soul Truth is another, which I like because it gives you a little something to think about, and then kind of like a mantra for the day. And in my sixth sense deck. And then we have the tarot. We have the Light Seers, and we have the Wild Reflections tarot, and we have the Unfolding Path tarot. So let's get with it. So what I'm going to do is we're going to call Spirit in, ask Spirit to bring us a divine message that maybe it's a message that he's been trying to get through to us, you, me. I'm part of the collective. Maybe it's a message that we just intentionally asked for. So as I bring in Spirit and ask Spirit to come in with their energy, all of the different spirits, I ask that you do an intention so that whatever it is that you're looking for, whatever message that you're looking for, that you may receive that. So, how I will set this up is we will do three cards in each deck. So, it'll be present, past, near future, recent past, and near future. Then it'll be the obstacles for those three, and then it will be the strengths that will bring us to our our moment in time. I guess we could say that. So let's start this with a good, because they usually have a nice little question that they ask us, and I think it's always good to bring in a nice question when we're having a reading done and asking for answers to something, and it will set the mood. And then I'll do interesting. I got a sneak peek of that. Yeah. So let me bring in Spirit before I read what this Soul Truth card is saying. Divine Source, God, Father, Mother, Christ, all spirits and souls that are beyond this realm, this physical material realm. May you bring in whatever message it is that you are trying to send to loved ones here on earth. And may they be able to open their minds, their hearts, and their souls enough to receive this message. Spirit guides, know who is in this reading, and may you guide your soul, your person, to receive the message and know what to do with that message. And may you, Divine Source, bring in the energy of strength, courage, love, happiness, and joy into all of our lives as we go about each and every day doing the best of our abilities. And may we always remember to treat others the way we would love to be treated ourselves. Strangers, family, friends, anyone that we encounter on this earth. And may the love within be shown without, as above, so below, as within, so without. Amen. All right, so the card, the Soul Truth card that we have here, I don't know if I should turn on the light, Ew, I don't know. I guess it's better. All right, so here's the question. Does my life have room for more pleasure and play? So, I guess the message that we're going to be receiving from Spirit today is going to be about finding more pleasure and play. And I think as we are adulting in our lives, we tend to forget about having fun and being childlike. And those of you that are into your spirit guides and you know about spirit guides, we have one spirit guide that's called the Joy Guide. And the Joy Guide is the guide that helps us to lighten up and have a little bit of fun. Um, so maybe that's something you can do when you meditate is ask your Joy Guide to come in. If you've never done that before, it's very simple. Just, you know, go into your meditative state, and when you start to go into that state as you're breathing, set your intention, ask your Joy Guide to come in and to identify themselves. Um, and they don't always go by names, but together you can usually create a name for your Joy Guide. I know my Joy Guide is Sapphire. For some reason, I that's what came up. That's what my Joy Guide and I came up with for a name. So on the other side of the card, it says, "In what area are you lacking pleasure right now? Maybe in certain relationships or with work. It is possible to shift the seriousness of life to experiencing a more creative, wild, and playful side of you. What would happen if you added more play and laughter into your life? What area is lacking this right now? Take time to play, let go of any need to produce anything." So, this is the opening statement, and I think it's pretty powerful. So, let's, the other two oracles I'll do at the end, which will be the Sixth Sense and the Psychic Tarot for the Heart Oracle. So, I'm going to start with, okay. So, some of my people in the collective here, we have the Two of Swords that popped right out, right in the beginning of the reading. And this is an energy. It's telling me that there's a lot of inner battling going on, and twos can either be the outside world and the inside world, bringing them together, or it could be a partner. So, or another, let's put another human in your life. It doesn't necessarily mean a partner, just another person. So with this card, as you can see, there's the crows pecking at her head, kind of like nagging her, like, "Yeah, see, I told you, this was going to happen." And the blindfold, where it's like, sometimes in life we refuse to see the truth. That's what's coming up. This is what I'm getting. And even though there's a blindfold on this person, if you go within and you use your intuitive third eye, it doesn't matter if you have a blindfold on or not, you will see what you're meant to see. Your guides, your angels, your guardian angel, and all of the other spirits that have been on this earth and are now just watching over you, they will all be there to help you see this truth through different messages and different ways that they know, if you're paying attention, you will understand. So now, the beautiful thing about this card is, whatever the battle is, And I'm sensing that a lot of you are battling inside turmoil to match the outside world. Um, that's really coming in strong for me here. And a lot of times, the inside turmoil is much more difficult to resolve than the outside material world. And I know from my own life, through my own experiences, that dealing with obstacles on the outside have always been much, much easier for me than dealing with the inner pain. So I'm getting a strong sense that this is the person we are relating to today. And if you notice, her hands aren't tied. You know that her hands are free. All she's got to do is just unwrap all of those strings and take off the blinder, and there will be nothing but clarity ahead. And if you notice, now all the like the earth and stuff, this always reminds me of a tiger eye stone, which is solar plexus, um, which is emotions, and that's why I say it's an inner battle for me. The message is coming through as an inside battle, an inside job, maybe an inner child healing. I mean, it can be so many different things. It could be a relationship that is creating a lot of inner turmoil. So emotions and inner inner conflict is what I'm sensing and feeling here. But if you notice the sky, clear blue, few white clouds, few soft white clouds, which to me is like the angels lurking above. The angels are kind of like flying above. That's what the soft clouds feel like to me. Our angels are above us, watching over us. But the blue sky, that's about clarity. That's about knowing there will be a clear vision of what to do, what is next. So that's where many of my people are presently. This card popped out also. It didn't pop out showing me what the card was, but it popped out right after the Two of Swords. And we have the the Tower. And this is number 16. It is a major arcana. And this is the recent past. So what I'm feeling and getting with this card is that recently a lot of things in your life have been kind of falling apart, or um, just I don't want to really use falling apart, or um, being dismantled, being dismantled for whatever reason. And it could be for an intentional reason, um, things that you yourself want, because of the inner turmoil. You yourself want to dismantle, want to recreate, reestablish yourself. It could be, starting a new career. It could be the end of a relationship. It could be a lot of different things. A business not working out, and knowing that it's time to move on. A partnership. So there's there is the breakdown of something, and this breakdown has brought you to the inner turmoil. And it's not a bad thing. I mean, a lot of times with the Tower card, it's all about um, the destruction of one thing. And the only way that something new can be created is through the destruction of the old. And sometimes when we're going through our own transformations, which is what this can be, sometimes when we're going through our own transformations, we don't realize that in order to become new, we have to dismantle everything or heal. I shouldn't even say dismantle, but we have to like really seriously look at the past, look at what has created us to be the way we are. Because a lot of times what has created us to be this way has also created the obstacles that the inner battles that we're going to have to work with. So dismantling the old you in order to become and recognize what needs healing to become the new you. Wow. Okay. Now let's do our near future and see what's going to come after we untangle all those ropes and see beyond that blindfold. Uh, Near future. She has a tattoo on her arm, and I don't really know. Um, I don't really know what it means. It looks like it's something to do with balance, but I'm not. I'm not quite sure. I should probably look it up one of these days. Um, but it definitely has. If you notice on her arm, let me see if there's a good way I can put this so you can see it. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's right here, and it just looks like it's something to do with balance, and balance is such a major part of being okay. It's part of being grounded, um, and just knowing that we have everything we need. We have everything we need to do what we need to do in order to be on the path of goodness. That's how I'm going to word that. All right, so we have a Five of Pentacles. This is the near future, and it looks like a pretty sad card. And again, this is after the turmoil, after getting through whatever it is. And I say inner turmoil because swords are about the mind, the ideas, the thoughts. So thoughts are usually controlled by our own mindsets and our own inner thoughts, inner mindsets. So with this here, this is the near future. After getting all of the mental struggles out, a lot of times when we are doing healing and we're healing with past trauma, we're healing with a lot of different issues that we kind of buried, emotionally buried, and now all of a sudden they're surfacing for whatever reason. For wherever we are in our lives today, um, these emotions are surfacing and they're creating havoc within. And we may be able to hide them from people, but they're still creating havoc within. And a lot of times when you bring all that stuff to surface, this is where you're at. You're like you're sitting there feeling like nothing, nothingness. And I say this because I say it exactly like this because I've done the inner work and I've brought all these emotions to surface. And once they all come to surface, a lot of people will say the hole in the donut, but to me, it's like the junk in the hole, just stuffing. You have that hole in the donut. That's the injured part of your soul. But then you take all this stuff throughout the years and you fill that hole up with stuff, painful stuff. Just like, oh, here's another one. Oh, we're gonna dump that in that hole. a cesspool. It's like a cesspool. And once you have cleansed yourself of that stuff, this is where you're at. It's like you're drained, you're emotionally drained, you're physically drained, you're mentally drained. And you just, you kind of left with, almost left with nothing. And you have to rebuild that nothingness. And the thing about this card, what's great about this card is this person's just sitting there like, oh, now what do I do? Now I have, at least before, I felt full, even though it was negative emotions and negative feelings. I did feel full. And now all that stuff is surfaced and I'm healing it. What do I do now? Well, if you notice, there's 5 pentacles there. There's also a, a key. All she's got to do is open the door. And, when you're emptying out all of the cesspool stuff and you're cleaning out your sewer, you're cleaning it all out. Now you have this beautiful empty vessel ready to be filled with the wonders of life, of living, of happiness, of joy. And that's where you're going to be in the near future. It isn't like emptiness forever. It is, okay, here I am. All of my stuff has been emptied out. I threw it all away. And now let me start filling it with the goodness of God. That's what I'm hearing. The goodness of God, the new journey, the new path, the new purpose. And from there, you have after the 5 of Pentacles, and you open that door up, you have the 6 of Pentacles, 7, and then you get to the 10 of Pentacles, true happiness. So this is the path. And in the near future, you're going to find yourself right here because you did all the work. And it may look bleak, but it's actually not. It's all about revival, rebirth, and finding your true soul again. So let's find the obstacles. So our present card, the 2 of Swords, what are the obstacles today? Oh. 7 of Cups. Okay, so 7 of Cups, if you notice in this card, she's sitting there. She's got these cups. She's got 2 in her hand, and then there's five sitting up on the shelf. Let's pretend there's a shelf there. And she's like saying, okay, so what do I want to do? What do I want to... Now, this can be an obstacle for this card right here because you want to make sure what you remove from the internal battle, you want to be sure that it's the things that are no longer serving you. You do not want to remove the things that are working for your good. And that's where sometimes, even if you don't, like, let's for an example, there are people sometimes in our lives that do and say things we don't particularly like, not because they're wrong, but because they force us to look at something. So when we eliminate those people, it's because we are trying to eliminate what truly needs to be changed and not look at it and not face it. And I'm going to give an example. When I used to be a part of the whole recovery world, I would hear people say that, they would have 2, 3, 4 sponsors, a sponsor for, and to me it was like, I felt like, ooh, yeah, that's because when one says something you don't like, you go to the other and you advice shop until you get the answer you like. And that's kind of like what the obstacle could be here, is making choices that may feel better at the time. They may feel good at the moment, but in the long run, they're really not going to be better for us or you. So that's an obstacle. That's what you need to look out for and be careful for right now, today in your life. So the past obstacle, the things that were falling apart, being torn down, the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups is all about being fulfilled. And because, so some of you have probably been sitting in a pretty comfortable spot. And often when we have to do a deep dive in a personal, emotional, spiritual change, often we also have to look at the comforts that we don't always want to give up. And some of you may be in a position where if you do this, if you tear this down, you may have to give up some luxuries, some pleasures that might be pretty difficult to do. And this will create an obstacle for you in becoming the true person you are meant to be, in finding the soul in the heart and the love in the life you truly, truly want. So the Queen of Hearts is all about fulfillment. And sometimes the things that fulfill us aren't necessarily good for us. So we may think they're making us happy, but they're not necessarily doing this. What they're doing is often they enslave us. So two of them came out for the Five of Pentacles. Okay. Wow. Wow. Okay. So we have the Five of Pentacles here. We have a double five here. We have the Five of Pentacles. And this is all about, okay, everything. I purged everything. I, regurgitated it numerous times in my life, and now I've purged it all. It's all gone, and I'm sitting here feeling empty. We have the Five of Cups. So this is telling me, again, we had the Queen of Cups here, who is very comfortable in her little seat there, sitting on her throne, very comfortable with all of the material glory that they've achieved. Not necessarily wanting to give any of it up. I want to feel better. I want a better life. I want to be my true self. But I don't know about the rest of it, And Five of Cups. Okay, here we are. We're sitting here, and we have those cups. We have those three cups that are empty. And behind her are two full cups. And she's very sad because she chose to give up. She or he, it's not necessarily a woman, to give up some of those luxuries that she swore she would never be without. And here she is sitting here like, okay, three of them are gone. Is that enough? Okay, is that enough? Can I now be in my truth? Can I now live my happy ever after? But there's two cups in the background. And I'll share another little recovery story. People in recovery, they have these steps to go by for a spiritual change, and when they get to a certain step, one of them is to do a fearless moral inventory, and then the next step is to share it with another individual, this moral inventory. And a lot of times people put a stall on doing an inventory. They don't do it, or they do it half-assed, because they don't ever want to share certain things that they did in their life, and or they just stop at that point. And when you stop at that point, the whole thing about recovery is it's all about growing spiritually. So if you refuse to look at yourself, if you refuse to change the person that walked through the doors of desperation, then you'll only grow so much. And eventually, that old you will come back. And so, her keeping those two cups behind, it's like, I'm going to give up all of these things. I'm giving it all up, but I'm going to keep these two. And, God doesn't say, hey, a little sin is okay. And I hate using the word sin. A little error is okay. No, it's like we, you know, it, treating all people the way we want to be treated. It doesn't say treat some people the way we want to be treated. Treat all people except the ones we don't like. It's all people. The same with this. When we need to cleanse our bodies, our minds, our souls, and our hearts of the things that are no longer serving us well, it's all. It's not okay, everything but this and everything but that. It's all. And this is what's going to be an obstacle for you in finding true peace within. The other card that came up, and I love that this came up right here and now, is the Fool. And I didn't get into any colors of the card really. Maybe I'll do that with the strengths. But we have the Fool here, and I like this Fool card. It's kind of cute. It's got that tealish green, and then it's got the monarch butterflies, which are one of my. It's my logo. It's a blue monarch butterfly, and then my mom reminds me of my mom when it's a yellow monarch butterfly. When I see them often outside in my yard, they come visit me. But the Fool is all about, and we talked about this, having fun, that childlike naivety. I think that's how you say it. I don't know. Anyway, it's that childlike moment, allowing yourself to become childlike and go back into your childlike innocence to recreate the person you truly want to become. And that's what's coming up here for that. It's the beginning of a new journey, which fits perfectly. It is the beginning of a new journey, and not being afraid, a leap of faith, and that is not an obstacle as far as I'm concerned. It's not an obstacle unless you decide not to take that leap of faith, unless you decide not to be childlike and joyful. So I guess it could be an obstacle. So now we're going to do our strengths. Ooh. All right, those two popped out. We have, okay. We have the Ten of Wands that was on top. Ten of Wands is an action step. It's all about go out, harvest what you planted. Harvest what you planted. Harvest what is growing. Whatever you have gotten rid of, that internal turmoil, you now have room to harvest. Harvest a new garden, plant new seeds, grow. Let yourself grow from within. And the beauty of your harvest will be amazing. And then we have the Strength card, which I always love this card because we have a lot of sacral chakra here. This is fire energy. It's also the Leo sign. And the thing about this card is, yes, it's always good to be strong. Always good to be strong. But it's even better when we know when to be gentle. And sometimes we need to be gentle on ourselves. Again, sometimes we need to give ourselves a big hug, give ourselves a kudos, give ourselves forgiveness, and allow ourselves to be gentle with ourselves and others. So it's always, it's that balance. Again, it's that balance. Knowing when to be strong and knowing when to lighten up. And this is one of the strengths that you will be able to take into your new venture in harvesting those seeds. Plant those seeds. Plant your truth and become the you always wanted to be. And do it with strength, but also do it with gentle kindness, that nurturing. And if you look at this, I mean, she's just gently, it's like that lion is a kitty cat, and she's just nurturing that lion and bringing out the tenderness, taming the wild side of that lion. And that's what we sometimes have to do. Sometimes we go through life always ready for an attack, always ready for someone to mess with us or take advantage of us or use us. And sometimes we need to just kind of like relax, nurture our heart and our soul, our injured self, because that's our injured wounds that are putting us in lion mode. And be I'm not going to get that one because it's a pain to get down and get it. So instead of being the lion all the time, become the kitty, become that kitty cat. Let that childlike cub come out. All right, we have strengths from the recent past. The Knight of Swords. This guy is like, enough is enough. Okay, the mental anguish. From the Tower. Okay, so we have the Tower card here. And then we have the Queen that, I like all these things I've accumulated. I like this life I'm living. And then we have this Knight. It's like, okay, I'm ready. I've had enough. It is time to let go of all these things that have been holding me down, keeping me stuck, and keeping me in places I really don't want to be. There's no happiness. This gentleman is like not a happy camper. Okay, he's in the desert, dry, hot, and if you look, there's like everything's lifeless. He's going to drive into a world of hope and love. Ah, and it's the Emperor, another fire sign. I don't know if it's Aries. It's either, oh, I think it is Aries because of the skull that's there. The Emperor is all about accomplishment, a lot of accomplishment, a lot of sitting very high. Um, but again, this is your strength. The Emperor energy is your strength. So you've accomplished a lot. You've been sitting on your throne very comfortably. But you know it's time. It's time to tear down. It's time to tear down that tower that you've been living in order to find the grace of God, the true gift of God. And you've decided to now motorcycles. Okay, so I have two. Motorcycles are one way of hopping on and finding freedom, and then there's horses. For me, the motorcycle is more of a, and this is my symbolism of a motorcycle. It is freedom. It is escaping into freedom, but not in like a horse. A horse, it's like a graceful. It's a graceful way of becoming free and finding freedom. Where a motorcycle is more of a, it feels more aggressive to me, and um, and it's not bad. It's just a motorcycle is more of a determined energy where I got to get out of here and I got to get out of here now and I've got to find my freedom. So it's still freedom, but it's a stronger, more aggressive freedom. Where a horse to me is like a graceful inner peace type of freedom, and this one just looks like, okay, I'm done. I'm on my way, and I'm going to find my peace and happiness. And then you have the Emperor, who is strong enough to be able to accomplish anything they set their mind to, and still be able to sit on a throne, maybe not as comfortably as the Queen of Cups, but it will be a throne, and it will be a throne that you create within yourself and your immediate world. I don't know if this is like an intense reading here. Woo. Okay, God, let's do our last card. Let's hope it's, here we go, another one that fell. All right, I'm getting it. Ouch. Don't really have lots of room here. Okay, here we go. This was the this was the one that fell before, the Page of Cups. So we're going to put this Page of Cups right with our future. Pages are about messengers. Cups are about emotions. And the conscious shell, he's like blowing into the conscious shell, which is, again, and he's got that umbrella. The umbrella is the solar plexus color. Then we got all the tiger eye rocks and stuff, and we have green and blue, heart and throat. He's dressed in a lot of gray with a very light blue shirt. So even though he's not quite sure where his feet are going to land, he is sure that he's going to be okay, and that he's safe. And the umbrella is telling me that he will make sure that he's always got protection above him, and that he relies on that protection. The conscious shell doing the the call into the conscious shell. That is letting spirit know that you're ready for anything and it's time. Whew. We have the blue and the green. Your heart is ready, and everything's beginning to be very clear in your mind. And it is, yeah, beautiful. Um, oh my gosh! So that was the Page of Cups, and now we have the Queen of Cups, and she's got the same. Is that a concha shell? That's not a concha shell. That's that other kind of shell that spirals. And there's a spiritual meaning to that shell. I'm not quite sure what it is. But look at all the green in that card. The heart is happy. And this is your strength, your emotions. Your emotions are, cups are all about emotions. And the queen, this is like one of the happiest cards to receive in a reading. And the fullness of joy, and this is your destiny. All you have to do is do the work, be aware of your obstacles, and really enhance the things that will strengthen you to get to this place in your life. And yes, make sure that you celebrate and know that spirit has guided you along the way, and make sure that you gratefully thank all spirits that led you to this place. And with that, let's do our oracles. Wow. Okay, that was a pretty powerful reading. Totally unexpected. Totally unexpected. All right, let's do our sixth sense card. So the card is psychometry, and I'm going to read it. It says, the ability to pick up psychic information through items simply by holding them and being open to the vibration. So pay attention to that. It is probably an ability that may be like simmering within you if you don't know you already have it. And, just a lot of times when I have crystals and I'm selling crystals in the store and stuff, a lot of times people pick out their crystal by holding them, and they get the vibration. Or they'll just take their hand and they'll go over the crystals, and the one that resonates in their hand is the one that they'll go with. Sometimes they'll just look at them, and the one that they keep getting drawn to is the one they choose. So it is an ability we all have, and don't take it for granted. Just use it because it is meant. When there are items that you're vibrating with, there's a reason why you're vibrating with them, and oftentimes they are things that will make sense in the future, and sometimes they'll even make sense right then and there. So that one wanted to pop. Let's pull you out. And we had 3 5s in this reading today. I think it was just 3 5s. Yep. So 555. Watch out for 555. We have changing times. This is purple or indigo. I will read it. I don't know if it's purple or indigo. Let's see. Violet border. I said, did I say changing times? It's challenging times. My bad. 145. I think I need new glasses because I am having trouble with reading. All right, challenging times. Keywords are ego, conflict, challenges, and competition. Human ego can be helpful when it provides us with a sense of self value and purpose. However, the ego can also lead to problems when it seeks to build itself up at the expense of others. Quarrelsome energies may be in the air at this time. You may find yourself either instigating disagreements or being pulled into them by others. Step back and examine the real issues behind the conflict. You may find that it's more about being right than it's about what is right. So you may also find a relationship to be more challenging than usual, sensing an underlying power struggle, even though surface energies appear to be calm. Use your intuition and intellect to ascertain what's happening. While competition can be stimulating, it's disruptive to a relationship. You can avoid this by thinking before you speak or act, and by coming from a place of honesty and love. So, that is the reading for today. It is a little bit longer than I expected because I had a lot of double jumping when cards were popping out. And I guess I had a lot to say. I guess spirits put a lot in my mouth to come out to give you as a message. I do hope that some of you resonated with this, and if you do, please, like, share, and subscribe. Do all of those, and that would be great. All right. So have a very wonderful day, and I'll try to get on in a couple of days from now and do another reading. Bye bye.